Hello there, I'm meteorologist Lindsay Monroe, and as we are now entering into that 24-hour period before the winter storm moves in, want to get you the very latest on what we can anticipate as far as the timeline and the snowfall potential goes. It's going to be a pretty quiet start to the weekend, though. We've had high pressure that will be in control for today, so do anticipate plenty of sunshine this Saturday, as well as temperatures remaining below average. Most of us stay in the 20s this afternoon. Now, we look to our northwest. That's where this incoming area of low pressure is currently situated. We've got this warm front that extends south of that. Starting to see the snow becoming a little bit more widespread in advance of that area of low pressure as it will continue to track south and southeast today, and then eventually a more easterly track, which will bring that snowfall potential starting back to our west and portions of Kansas with a swath of heavy snow all the way through Pennsylvania. That's going to be for Sunday. So in the meantime, today it's going to be a dry day with plenty of sunshine anticipated. It just stays cold with temperatures that will be back in the mid-20s later on this afternoon, gradually increasing clouds this evening. But if you are headed downtown for, per se, the Pacers game that starts around 7, does look like that snow not going to be here just yet. Here are your high temperatures today, ranging from 25 at Indy, 28 down in Bedford, and 21 up in Kokomo, and that's about 10 degrees below average for this time of year. So dry and cold to get the weekend started. Now we're focusing our attention on this weather impact alert that will be for Sunday and into Monday. The timing of this really hasn't changed all that much. We're still anticipating this moving in to the western tier of the state first around 7 a.m. on Sunday, becoming more widespread by about 10 a.m. Sunday. That will continue through the midday hours on Monday before this whole system pulls off to the east. Here's the two areas that we are still looking at some questions. It's going to be where the heaviest of the snow sets up. This will likely happen just south of the I-70 corridor, which will be just north of the mixing line. That's where we see ice and sleet mixing in with the snow. This will cut down slightly on the overall snowfall potential across our southernmost counties. The key takeaways with all of this: we will need extra travel time. If possible, postpone your travel that you might have planned for Sunday afternoon through Monday afternoon because of the snow that is set to accumulate. You do have to go out, make sure you are ready with those supplies in your car, and make sure you're keeping an update with the latest on the forecast. Now, this morning, you may have had an alert when you woke up because this was an upgrade from the National Weather Service. Basically, everybody in this pink zone has been upgraded from a winter storm watch to a winter storm warning. That's where we're anticipating at least 4 inches of snow, if not higher totals. I do think a lot of us in this pink zone will see more than 4 inches. But then as you go up to the north, that's where a winter weather advisory will be in effect starting at 10 o'clock Sunday, lasting through 1 p.m. on Monday, where slightly lower snowfall totals will be and the impact slightly less widespread. And then we still have places under this winter storm watch, places like up near Marion, Indiana, where we're still awaiting from the National Weather Service office in northern Indiana what the decision's going to be there. That's because it's going to be a pretty sharp cutoff. The farther north you go, it will be basically seeing a decent amount of snowfall, that 2 to 4 inch zone, and then places farther north really might not see much of an impact at all from this system. But if we go to the south, that's where the heaviest of the snow will set up. So we're talking along just south of the I-70 corridor, kind of in this pink zone. That's where we anticipate some of those heavier snowfall bands setting up, which is very common with these types of weather systems. Wherever we see that ice and sleet mixing line, that looks to set up mainly along Bloomington to Columbus, that line southward. That will slightly cut down our snowfall potential, but then give us a better indication on where we can anticipate some of those heavier snow bands setting up. So as far as the timeline, again, this really has not changed much. Most of this moves in after 7 a.m. Snow becomes widespread in the mid-morning and then very widespread as we look at a 100% chance of that snowfall possible through the duration of Sunday afternoon and evening. And some questions to the Colts game. Will we be impacted by this? I believe it will already start snowing during tailgate outside before kickoff at 1 p.m. and then temperatures holding steady in the mid-20s as snow starts to pick up in its intensity. So by 4 or 5 o'clock, we'll be basically in the thick of this winter storm, and we could potentially around the Indy metro, especially the area south, already see potentially 1 to 3 inches of snow on the ground around Marion County. So let's break down the latest timeline on this. We'll pause as we get into about 7 o'clock in the morning. This is early Sunday, again making its way into west and southwestern portions of the state first. This is by about 11 o'clock in the morning, 10:30, 11, noticing some of these heavier bands setting up. And then where that freezing line develops here, we're talking Bloomington to Columbus south. That's where that sleet will potentially start to mix in. But then just north of there, you notice this darker blue, basically along and south of the I-70 corridor. That's where those heavier snow bands will start to really accumulate, making travel become difficult as we get into Sunday afternoon. Now by Sunday night, this particular weather model picking up on the potential that we'll see this warm nose lift a little farther to the north. That means temperatures just above the surface will be perhaps a degree or so above freezing, so that will change our precip type briefly to a little bit of a freezing rain sleet mix. That's around 10 p.m. on Sunday. Then the colder air will take back over. This changes back into all snow, albeit lighter snow, but still some light accumulations will be possible. This is 7 o'clock in the morning, early Monday. Eventually this whole system will pull off to the east as we get into Monday afternoon. Believe after about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, this will for the most part be out of here. So again, these two areas that have the highest uncertainty still at this point is going to be where that sharp cutoff exactly sets up. It will be feast or famine who does see snow and who doesn't. So we're talking the 2 to 4 inch zone to the north, along where that warning zone is. That does include places like Crawfordsville over to Muncie in that 4 to 7 zone. Again, the farther north you are, the closer to that 4 inch mark. The farther south, slightly higher totals. Again, the potential to see up to 10 inches of snow will be just along and south of the I-70 corridor. Not everybody will see 10 inches of snow in this zone, but the possibility is there with those heavier bands most likely to develop in that area. And then still 4 to 7 inches across our southernmost counties with the potential of some sleet mixing in as well. That will mainly happen as we get you into Sunday late afternoon into Sunday evening. Again, that all becomes snow during the overnight through Monday morning. Once it's here, it's going to stick around because temperatures will likely stay well below the freezing mark in the extended forecast. There's your average high at this point. We stay well below that, and temperatures staying below freezing means a lot of the snow that will be around will likely stick around. Also something to keep in mind, this is going to be a pretty long duration event. Snow moves in Sunday morning, doesn't completely move out until Monday afternoon. And if we see an upwards of 4 to 6 plus inches of snowfall, that's going to take some time for crews to get out and get everything cleared off. So this might take a little longer to get those roadways back operational and clear, just given the fact that we're going to see snow for so many hours in a row. So 26 will be the high tomorrow. That snow moves in the morning. Snow will then linger through the early afternoon hours on Monday. We're back to about 27. And then cooling off from there, 26 on Tuesday. We've got some very cold overnight low temperatures Wednesday into Thursday. Could even see some wind chill values once again dropping below zero with single digit morning lows. Daytime highs back near 20. Does look like we could potentially see a little bit more snow moving in to wrap up the week on Friday. Make sure you're double checking back with WTHR.com. We're going to be constantly updating the forecast with the very latest information, keeping you updated on this winter storm as a winter impact alert day will be issued for Sunday into Monday.